Hello everyone, I'm Juliana, your English teacher. Welcome to part 3 of the Irregular Verbs series. In this video, I will explain to you when to use the second form of the verbs. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2 of the series, I suggest you watch those first and then come back to this video. Let's start. I hope you had a chance to familiarize yourself with the irregular verbs list. If not, you can print it out following a link that's in the description of the video.
Print out that list.
Today I'm going to talk about the situations when you use the second form of the irregular verbs in a tense that it called the past simple. Let's take a closer look at this tense.
That's simple. That's simple.
The past simple is used to talk about finished actions in the past. You use it to talk about things that happened yesterday or last weekend, last month, 3 hours ago, and so on.
Yesterday.
Last week.
Long time ago.
Now, if you look at the irregular verbs list, you see that the first verb is the verb to be. And in the second column, it has two forms, was and were. Just for you to know, was is used in the singular form and were in the plural. For example, you say, I was very happy yesterday. Alina was in the park last weekend. We were very tired after a long day. They were surprised to see him at the party.
What party?
In the negative sentences, we add not to was and were, and we get wasn't and weren't. For example, I wasn't very happy yesterday. Alina wasn't in the park last weekend. We weren't tired after a long day. They weren't surprised to see him at the party. In questions, the verb was or were jumps before the nouns to make it, were you happy yesterday? Was Alina in the park last weekend? Were you tired after a long day? Were they surprised to see him at the party?
Continue.
Now, let's continue with the other verbs in the past simple. The verbs that you've learned in the previous two videos are called the irregular verbs. So if they are irregular verbs, so that means that somewhere there must be some kind of regular verbs, right? Right. But the problem is, just by looking at the verb, you can't say if it's a regular or irregular verb. Usually, if it's on the list, that means that's irregular. If it's not on the list, it's a regular verb. I know it's not much of an explanation, but that's how it is. But don't worry. The more you practice with those verbs, the easier it will become for you. And then you won't have to think, is it a regular verb or irregular verb? It will come natural to you. In the affirmative sentences, in the past simple, you have two options. For the irregular verbs, you use the second column from the list. For example, I went to the cinema last weekend. I saw a great film. I ate popcorn. I drank orange juice. To the regular verbs, you add ed at the end of the verb, but you need to be careful how to pronounce it. Ed at the end of the verbs can be pronounced t, d, or id, depending on how it sounds better. For example, watch, watched. I watched TV last night. Play, played. They played football in the park. Land, landed. The plane landed at 7 o'clock. Now, let's take a look at how these verbs behave in the negative sentences. The good news is it doesn't matter if it's a regular verb or irregular verb. We just put didn't in front of the verb, you know, the normal verb, in the first column or without ed, and there you have it. You got a negative sentence. For example, in the affirmative, you say, I went to the cinema. In the negative, I didn't go to the cinema. In the affirmative, I saw a great film. In the negative, I didn't see a great film. In the affirmative, I ate popcorn. In the negative, I didn't eat popcorn. In the affirmative, I drank orange juice. In the negative, I didn't drink orange juice. The same goes for the regular verbs. I watched TV yesterday evening. I didn't watch TV yesterday evening. They played football last weekend. They didn't play football last weekend. The plane landed at 7 o'clock. The plane didn't land at 7 o'clock. The same goes for questions. You put did before the noun and you leave the verb unchanged, regular or irregular. Did you go to the cinema? Did you see a great film? Did you eat popcorn? Did you drink orange juice? Did you watch TV last night? Did they play football last weekend? Did the plane land at 7 o'clock? Now, let me give you a tip that will not only help you to learn those grammar forms better, but also help you to become more fluent in English. I prepared a list of 100 most commonly used verbs, and for each verb there is a sentence in the past simple that goes together with this verb. Print out this list and use it as follows. Read the sentence aloud in the affirmative, in the past simple. Then you put it in the negative form and then you form a question with it. For example, I did my homework last night. It's an affirmative sentence. Negative is I didn't do my homework last night. And the question, did I do my homework last night? Like when you're not sure. Did I do it? Did I not? Next one. They went to Greece for their vacation. Affirmative. Negative. They didn't go to Greece for their vacation. Did they go to Greece for their vacation? You can download this list that actually it has 3 pages. Just follow the link in the description. I hope this video helped you to understand English grammar better. And remember, practice, practice, and more practice. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. In my next video, I will record reading all of the sentences from the past simple practice worksheet to make sure that you pronounce all the words correctly. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.